Hi everyone. The problem that now we are going to solve involves two tables. So the first table is the product table. This table has following columns. It has the ID, which is the ID of the product, name, which is the name of the product, the cost, which is the cost associated with the product. So basically this table has the products along with their respective cost. The second table that we have is the customer table. So this table has following columns: cust ID, which is the customer ID, cust name, which is the name of the customer, budget, it is the budget that this customer has. Okay, so these are the two input tables that we have. Now, what we need to do is we need to find out the maximum number of items that the customers can purchase within their allocated budget. So for example, this customer Mohan, he has budget of 50 rupees. So among this all the products, he can purchase only this item. So in the output, we need for each of the customer ID, the customer name, the budget that they hold. So these columns are like same as the input table columns. Apart from this, we need the number of items that this customer can purchase, the list of those items, and the cost, the expenditure cost. So note that the idea here is the customer should be able to purchase as many number of items as possible. Okay. So considering this, let's first work on the approach that we can take to solve this problem. So for this, let's copy this input data into an Excel sheet. So this is our first table data. Similarly, let's copy the second table data. So we have these two table details here. Now, as we know, we have to get as many items as possible. So the approach that we can take is pick the item with the lowest cost. Then pick the item with the next lowest cost. Then pick the item with next lowest cost. So this way we can increase the number of items that can be purchased. For example, if there was another customer, say customer 1, and that person had budget of 12,000. So in this case, we could have gone ahead and just purchased one item, that is television costing 12,000. But that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for that the customer should be able to purchase as many items as possible. So with this 12,000 budget, if we went ahead with this approach, the customer will be able to purchase 4 items instead of just one. So we will follow this approach, which will maximize the number of items that the customer can purchase. And that is what we are looking for. So to achieve that, what we will do is we will add one column called as running cost. So what this cost will indicate is if the customer is able to purchase only this item, it will hold 20. If the customer is able to purchase these two items, it will hold the value 20 plus 300. Okay, so it is sum. So sum will come here. Similarly, if the customer is able to purchase all three items, it will be 1120. Okay, so likewise, if the customer is able to purchase all these four items, it will be 2120, and likewise. Okay, so this cost will indicate that these all products the customer can purchase. Now, what we will do is, let's take the example of this customer Arjun. So he has budget of 7,000. So with 7,000, definitely he can purchase this, and this. So we will compare with just the running cost and see if this running cost is less than the budget, less than equal to the budget. If it is so, like not in this case. So if it is so, the customer can purchase all those products, because the sum of all these products, it will come up to 2120, which is within the budget of the customer. He cannot go beyond that. Okay, so this will be the list of item for this customer Arjun. Okay, now talking about next customer Mohan. Mohan has budget of 50. So with budget of 50, 50 is 20 is within the budget of 50. So this item can be purchased, but the next item is beyond the budget. So only this item can be purchased by this customer. So hope it is clear that we need to compare the budget with the running cost, and till the point that the budget is greater than equal to this running cost, we are good and we can purchase all those products. Okay, let's take one more example. This example of 23,000. So all these items can be purchased. All these items can be purchased, not the last one. So this way we will have the list of items that the customer can purchase. Once we have that list, then we can get all the other columns that we need to derive. So basically, we need all these columns. That is total items purchased. Total items purchased will give us the list of the items, that the total number of items that the customer can purchase. So in this case, it will give us 5. So this we can achieve using the count function. Second column that we need is items list. So items list is the list of items. So that is this list separated by say comma. So that we can get using string aggregate function. So there is this function wherein we can specify the column and the delimiter. So comma in this case, and it will give the list of those items. So that is the second derived column. The third derived column is expenditure cost. So that is the what is the cost that the customer has to do the expenditure to get all these items. So that will be this cost, which is kind of maximum of this running cost. So we can use the max function. So this will be our approach to solve this problem. So let's go ahead and start writing the query. Okay, so what we will do is, as a first step, we will start operating on this product table. Okay, and on this product table, we will retain all the columns, and we will, as a first step, we will get the running cost column. Okay, so to get the running cost, we will use the sum window function on the cost column. Order by, we will use the over to indicate the window, and we will order it by the cost. So it will go in the ascending order. So the list cost product will be at the top, followed by the next list, and so on. And this will be our running cost. Okay, so let's run and see the output till this point. Okay, so what I will do is we will comment the customer table and see the output till this point. Okay, so this is the output that we have. So we have got the running cost now. Okay, so we have got the running cost. So our step 1 is done. Now, as a next step, we will compare the budget with the running cost and see which are all the items that falls within the budget of a particular customer. So for this, we will use the join operation. Okay, so what we will do is, we will move this into a CTE. Okay, so let's call it as expenditure CTE as this. Okay, so this or let's call it as the product CTE. Okay, so this is done. Now we will operate on this data which we have just generated, that is the product CTE. And so what we will do is we will join with the customer table. So customer left join with this product CTE. And let's give the alias C for the customer. And for the product CTE, let's give it as P. And the joining condition will be running cost of the product should be less than equal to the budget of the customer. Okay, so this cost should be within the budget of the customer for that product to be considered. So that will be our joining condition. For now, let's have all the columns in the output. Okay, so now let's run this and see the output. For easiness sake, let's comment the input tables. We will just focus on the output for now. Okay, so let's run this. So this is an intermediate output, and this shows what all the products that a particular customer can purchase. Like this customer can purchase these items with the budget of 7,000. This customer can purchase one product with the budget of 50, and likewise the other customers with their respective budget. Okay, so now we have the required data. We just need to aggregate and return the data in the required format. Okay, so we will operate on this data now. So let's do one thing. Let's move this as well as a different CTE. Let's call it this one as the expenditure CTE. Okay, so we have got this second CTE generated, and now we will operate on this data. Whatever we see now, we will operate on this data. It is the expenditure CTE. Now what we need to do is we need to formulate our final output. Okay, so in the final output, what all we need? We need the cust ID, we need the cust name, that the customer name, and we need the budget. And then we need the derived column. So among the derived column, first thing we need is the total items purchased. So the total items purchased we can get through the count function. So we will use count, total items purchased. And as and when we use the aggregated function, we need to use the group by. Okay, so we will be grouping based on these three columns. That is the customer ID, customer name, and budget. So we have got the first derived column, that is the total, the count of the items that the customer can purchase. The next thing is we need the list of these items. So for that, we can use string ag function. We will pass the name of the items, the products that are there, and as a delimiter, we will pass comma. So we want them to be separated by comma, and this will be our items list column. Finally, we need the running cost, that is the maximum cost we need, that is the expenditure cost we need, that we can get from the maximum cost of this table, of this column. So for example, for this customer, he has to do the expenditure of 2120 to get all these items. Okay, similarly this customer has to do expenditure of 14,120 to get all these items. So how we can obtain this value? We can do a max of this running cost and we will get the this value. So we will use the max function on the running cost column to get the expenditure cost column. Okay, so now we have all the derived column with us. Okay, now we have the final, this is kind of our final query. So let's run it now and see the output. Okay, so we have got the output. Let's now uncomment the input as well to see the output along with the input data. Let's run it together. Okay, so now we have the final output. So as we see, we have the required columns. We have got the input columns from the customer table, that is customer ID, customer name, and budget, and then the derived columns, which includes the number of items that the customer can purchase. That is the maximum number of items that the customer can purchase given this budget, the list of the items that this customer can purchase, and finally the amount that the customer has to do the expenditure to get all these items. Okay, so let's see the whole query again. So this is what we have written to achieve the final output. So if you have any alternate solution, please post it in the comments. And if you found this video useful, please like the video and please subscribe the channel. Thank you.